Hello, YouTube chess fans. This is hbeck. Good morning or afternoon. It's about 12:10 over here on the East Coast, and today what I'd like to do is share with you a calculation training session, a typical training session for myself that I do. So there's this website called Chesstempo, where you can practice tactics and also calculation. What I mean by that is there's a saying that chess is 99% tactics, and I don't know if that's really true. I mean, when I think of tactics, I think of one or two, maybe three move, simple combinations, knight forks, skewers, pins, things of that nature. Um, and practical play in a tournament, you're not gonna. Those simple tricks don't really occur very often in games between two strong players. But what does occur basically on every move is there's some calculation that occurs. And by calculation, this is a broader term than just calculating tactics. And what chess tempo does is it has these positions taken from real games that you can practice your calculation. And each one of these positions, every one of these positions in the standard problem set, uh, there's a solution whereby you get an advantage of greater than 1.75. So this is something I've been doing for quite a while. In real life, I'm about 2,000, but I'm pretty uneven, and I think my calculation is actually quite a bit stronger. Um, but in any case, we'll see how good I am today. Um, I did one problem earlier today of breakfast, and I didn't get it right. I got it wrong, so hopefully this goes a little bit better. What I'd encourage you to do is to uh, first try to solve the problem on your own, and then you can watch me talk my way through it, and hopefully we both get it right. But in any case, I think, like I said, even though I'm about 2,000 only, I think I calculate at a significantly higher level. Um, so I would venture to say that anyone below 2,200 probably can learn a little bit from me, and certainly these problems I do, because we're logged in right now as hbeck. These problems are the problems that the website gives you is generated based on your current rating. My rating is pretty high here, about ranked 20th right now on the website. So the problems are going to be pretty difficult. I'd say the problems are going to be at a plus 2,000 level for sure. Well, without any further ado, let's get started. All right, so what I'd like you to do is, if you'd like, to pause the video now, try to solve the problem, and then come back and watch me try to solve this. All right, let's get started. First things first, material. Looks like pieces. Black has an extra knight, or bishop, I guess. Extra minor piece. Pawn count. So white's got 2 pawns for the piece. All right, next thing we want to look at is what's under attack. What are the threats in the position? Well, my rook on e1 is hanging. Pawn on d7 is hanging. I can take on e8, take his bishop with a check if it's a knight promotion. That looks kind of juicy. That would fork his queen and king. His king looks actually in a pretty dangerous position. Not a lot of defenders. Pawn on e5 is hanging. Alright, so I'm down to piece for 2 pawns. I probably need to get at least a minor piece out of this to pass the problem. Alright. Alright, force-in moves. Let's consider candidate moves. First thing we want to look at is force-in moves. Let's see. Well, there's the obvious d takes e8. Promote to queen, promote to knight. This knight takes d2, save our rook. Rook f7 check. I mean, you got to consider all checks. Queen h4 threatens queen f6. Queen f3 threatens the same thing. Queen takes h7, king takes h7. I don't see a follow-up. Okay. Let's consider what do I want to consider first? Let's consider d takes e8. Queen first. Let's consider promotion to the queen first. We're threatening rook f7 check, which will be mate shortly after. If knight takes e5, rook takes e5, and he can't take back the knight, so it doesn't help him to insert knight takes e5. So d takes e8 queen, he should just take rook takes e8. That defends the threat. Another candidate move, by the way, should have been rook takes f8. That's a capture. So you want to consider all captures and checks and moves of a direct threat. Rook takes f8, d takes e1 check, however, would be very bad for white. So that's ruled out. D takes e8, queen, rook takes e8. Is there a follow-up? Bishop g8 is actually interesting too, because that threatens h7. Bishop g8, king takes g8. Queen e6 check. Actually, that looks really interesting now. Queen e6 check, king. Well, hold on. He can probably play bishop f7. Queen takes, and the rook covers f8. Huh. Am I done with d takes e8 equals queen? I might have to come back to it, but I think I don't see it immediate. I really don't see it right now. Huh. Bishop g8. Yeah, no. Well, let's go back and let's look at the next most obvious candidate move, and this really popped out to me at the beginning, was d takes e8 equals knight check. However, he just takes with the rook, and we have the same exact position, whether it was a queen or a knight. He just takes it, and I still have to find a follow-up if there is one. Another interesting thing is the king and queen can be forked from e8, but they can also be forked from e6. So if we play knight c, well, we can't play knight c5. Bishop just takes it. Trying to be creative here. In a real game, you don't have the luxury to be so creative, and these problems, sometimes the solution requires creativity. You never know when it's going to be. All right. What else here? Bishop. Let's go back and let's look at bishop g8 again, because there's a couple ideas here. bishop g8. All right. Well, the threat is queen takes h7 mate. If he plays h6, what if he plays h6? What if he plays h6? It's bishop g8, h6, queen e6. D takes e1. That's really annoying. Yeah, that's annoying, all right. Okay. Queen f3. I mentioned earlier that it threatens queen f6, but it actually also threatens queen f8, which would be mate. If bishop takes d7 to guard f8, we have queen d7, queen f7 check. King has to go to h6. Oh, actually, this is pretty. Queen f3, bishop takes d7, queen f7 check, king h6, queen f4 check, king g7, queen f6 check, king h6, queen h4 check, king g7, rook f7 check, with mate to follow on h7. So let's look at that one more time. Queen f3, bishop takes d7, queen f7 check, king h6, queen f4 check. Can he play g5? Huh. Queen f6 check. King h5. This is h5. King h5, yeah. Then g4 check. King h4. Queen f2 check. King h3, queen g3 mate. Okay. Queen f3, bishop takes d7, queen f7, king h6, queen f4 check, g5, queen f6, king h5, g4 check, king h4, queen f2 check, king h3, queen g3 mate. So you can't play g5. Queen f3, bishop takes d7, queen f6, or queen f7, I mean. Actually, queen f6 to start with is even better. That avoids that whole g5 line. Bishop takes d7. All right, so queen f3, bishop takes d7, queen f6 check, king h6, queen h4 check, king g7, rook f7 check. Yeah, that looks really promising. Let's go through and so queen f3 is now a main candidate move, I'd say. Although I'm still looking at queen h4, just yeah, not quite as strong, I don't think, because he can only. I'm not threatening a mate, am I? Am I threatening mate? Bishop e7. D takes e8 is my idea. And rook f7 check. Yeah, I mean, it kind of works either way. They can't both work, so that's good to know. Well, sometimes they do both work, but one's clearly better. Maybe one is an alternate. All right, let's look at queen f3. Let's start with queen f3. That threatens mate, so that should limit his options. Queen f3. If he moves any of the queen or central pawns, the A, B, or D pawn, I have queen takes f8 mate. If he moves the H pawn to H6, I have queen takes f8, king H7, bishop G8 mate. If he moves it to H5, same thing. Well, actually, it's not mate. What am I talking about? Well, it's going to be mate. Let's see. Queen f3, H6, queen takes f8, king H7, queen G8 mate. If it goes to H5, then we have bishop G8 check, king H8, bishop F7 check, with the simple mate on going to be on G6, I guess. All right, so queen F3. He can't. All right, G5. Queen F6 mate. So he can't move any pawns. All pawn moves lead to a win for white. If he moves the A8 rook, you mate him. Simple enough. If he moves the D8 rook, you mate him. If he moves the E8 bishop, bishop takes D7, queen takes F. Queen. All right, so this was my idea. Bishop takes D7, queen F7 check. See, this is maybe why queen H4 might be a little bit better, because rook F7 check would be more. You want to lead with the rook. Queen F3, bishop takes D7, queen F7 check, king H6. This line is similar. Is this the same line? We looked at this, didn't we? Yeah. So bishop F7, queen takes F7, check. All right. Let's save the bishop for last. Queen F3, king H8, queen F8 mate. Queen F3, king H6, queen F4 check, or just queen takes F8 check. He takes up enough check. I mean, that should be good enough. And his king is still just in the danger zone. All right, so he can't move his king. What about the queen? Queen F3, queen B6. That mates. Yeah, queen doesn't help him. The knight. Knight doesn't help him. All right, so actually this is getting fairly simple now. Queen F3. Only moves that are serious for black is I guess the bishop on F8. It just moves anywhere it does defend for a move at least. But then we just take it. So it's probably got to go E7. So it's bishop F7, bishop takes D7, and bishop E7. Bishop F7, queen takes F7 check, king H6, queen F4 check, king H5, bishop G4 check, king H4, G3, mate. So bishop f7, so queen f3, bishop 7, queen takes f7, king h6, queen f4 check, g5, queen f6 check, king h5, g4 check, king h4, queen f2 check, king h3, queen g3 mate. That's the same pattern as before. If it's bishop takes d7, queen f7 check, king h6, queen f4 check, this is the same thing. Well, it's not exactly the same thing because after king h5, bishop g4 as there's can be answered by bishop takes d7, bishop takes g4. That would be embarrassing. So queen f4 check, king h5. You'd have to go g4 check, king h4. Is he getting in the way? g5 check, king h5, queen g4 mate. It's not getting in the way. Queen f3. Bishop e7. This appears to be the real. This is the line. Real serious line here. What actually do I do here? Queen f3, bishop e7. Are there threats here? Oh yeah, here's what I wanted to do. Queen f3, bishop e7, d takes e8, knight check. And after rook takes e8, we have queen f7 check. But then there's queen f7 check, king h8. Oh. That might be the problem of queen f3. Queen f3, bishop e7, d takes e8 check, rook takes e8, queen f7 check, king h8. Mate on g8's defended. The bishop covers f6. Only way to continue an attack would be a rook lift, rook e3 to h3. Seems too slow. Rook e3, knight takes e5. I mean, that's, yeah. Okay. Well, then I guess we switch. We go back, we go to h4, queen h4. And we do it over again. All right. Queen h4. All right, if he just passes. Queen h4, if he moves one of the A or B pawns, then we go queen f6 check, king h6, queen takes f8 check, king h5, queen f3 check, king h6, queen f4 check. Yeah, we can stop here. We're gonna mate him. So that's good. All right, if he takes the rook on e1, does that help him? He'll make a queen, so you got to be a little bit careful. The queen would cover like a square like h4, for example. Queen h4, d takes e1, queen f6 check, king h6. Queen takes f8 check. King h5. Yeah, you're gonna be able to play g3 with check. That should win. Queen h4, d takes e1, queen f6, king h6, queen takes f8 check, king g5, queen f4 check, king h5, bishop g4, king h4, g3 check, queen takes g3, h takes g3 mate is kind of what I meant. So after queen takes f8 in that line, he'd go king h5, and then you would go wonder if you should go g4 check. Yeah, g4 check, king h4, queen h6 mate, for example. Or king g5, queen f4 check, king h4, queen h6 mate. All right. Okay. Queen f6, queen h4. That means also, by the way, if he moves to the a8 rook, he loses. If he plays rook takes d7, also any queen move should be bad for him. Rook takes d7, queen f6 check, king h6. Queen takes f8 check, rook g7. Knight takes d2. You're up 2 pawns. Well, you're not really up 2. But you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Huh. Queen f3 might be the thing. So queen h4, rook takes d7. Queen f6 check, king h6. Let's try to mate him. Queen f4 check. Yeah, that's the same pattern. That looks like the same pattern to me. Ooh. Not quite. Queen f4 check, g5. The point is he has bishop g6 defended. Yeah, but then you have queen f6, queen f8 check, rook g7, rook f6 check. And he still has bishop g6. Sorry about that. I had to blow my nose. All right, let's make sure queen f3 doesn't win. Queen f3, bishop e7, d takes e8, knight, check, rook takes e8. Queen f7 check, king h8. No. What about changing the move order? Sorry. Changing the move order. D takes e8 check. Rook takes e8. This doesn't help because now the second rank is uncovered. That pawn on d7 interrupts some of his pieces, like his queen. All right, queen h4. All right, we need to consider rook takes d7, but let's first get the more logical moves out of the way. If he moves his knight, there's nothing that really makes sense. Maybe knight takes e5, maybe knight e7. Knight takes e5, queen f6 check, king h6, queen f8 check. Yeah, that line's gonna work out. If anything else, you'll be able to pick up the knight with tempo saving your rook, and then you'll have an extra piece anyway. So that's good. Knight e7 though. Queen f6 check, king h6. Queen takes f8 check. Yeah, that's good. All right. All right, now what about bishop e7? Bishop e7. Now we have d takes e8, knight check. Rook takes, rook f7 with mate. All right, rook takes d7 is the only thing left to consider. Queen f6 check, king h6. Rook e4. Threatening mate. Yeah, all right. Okay, so he did this. What did we say here? D takes e8, knight check. Rook takes c8 would lose immediately. So you'd have to move his king. Only square is h8. Want this to be clean. D takes e8, knight, king h8, knight takes c7, bishop takes h4. Rook d2. I mean d1. Rook d1. What's the count there? I'd have a knight. I'd have a knight. I'd have two rooks, two knights, and a bishop. He'd have two rooks, a bishop and knight. Should be good enough. Is there anything more, like, crushing? I don't see it. There we go. Simple enough. All right, I hope you enjoyed that session. That was a pretty difficult problem, actually. Took me 32 minutes. I tend to be kind of slow and thorough and methodical. 23-22 problem. Taken from, I don't know what this game is. Boric versus Kessler. Two 2300s. It looks like I've done this problem before, actually. 2 attempts it's showing me. Oh, good. I like to see improvement. So you can see 3 years ago, I got this problem wrong. I went for bishop g8, which is something that I mentioned in this one. Yeah, the problem with that was, forget actually now. Anyway, time for lunch. So this is hbeck signing off.